Sure.
So how does intellectual property affect companies' valuation, let's say during fundraising or exit,
Yeah. There was and we at Clear IP we quote two studies that were done by the EU IPO uh, group, so EU IP governmental organization, and the two studies looked at companies that file, we'll say combinatorial IP, are three times more likely to have a successful exit, and they're 10 times more likely to get venture capital funding, uh, across the line. So they're 10 times more likely to get funded and three times more likely to get an exit. And then if you unpack that, what's going on is it acts as kind of a quality filter, for the organization. So if I'm an investor and I'm looking to invest in your company, one of my biggest concerns going in is I first have to go through a process of understanding does this entrepreneur and tech team actually own what they're doing? Like, were they moonlighting, inside a large organization with very clumsy contracts, where their IP might be, tied up in a bigger company from where they worked before, even though they think it isn't. Or, a founding team sometimes they might start with three founders and then one founder leaves. And so is their IP, is somehow kind of impinged in some way, that needs to be considered. So they want to have real clear ownership of what they're doing. And then the second thing is are they infringing on anyone else's IP? So they don't want to spend all this money and time and give it to find out actually. I've seen companies, be shut down, based on finding out later in the game that they're actually infringing on someone else. So they don't have what's called freedom to operate in the space they're considering. So I think the the funders come into an organization, or a possible acquirer comes into that company, and the first things they want to say is not make a mistake, around it. Do they own the product? Are they infringing on anyone else's? And as clean and as clear as that can be, then allows them to get the next stage. Is this an exciting business that I want to invest in? And then, I think what the best of companies do is they get really good at communicating that. So they say, okay, here's our IP portfolio. Here's how we've considered everything. And then here's a number of maybe patents that we're filing, that might not come, might take a couple of years for us to get into, but we've actually thought about where the future is going, and we're ambitious about the number of patents that we're pretty sure we're going to be able to get one or two of those through. That's going to allow us to have exclusivity over certain markets. So that articulation just takes the valuation. So it reduces the risk of the investment. It's a sign of quality, to the investors that you're talking to, entrepreneurs that have taken the time, or tech founders. And then ultimately, it could just be a commercial opportunity that you successfully got some type of, patent across the line. That means that they're going to have a freedom to operate in that organization. And that's a very licensable, asset, that's, really easy to understand.